Hi guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com and welcome you to another video on SEO. In today's video, I'll teach you how to write an SEO friendly article so you can rank on the first page of Google and probably on the first spot. I've used this particular method to rank many of my content or blog articles on the first page or even first spot. For example, for the keyword local SEO tips 2019, I was able to rank on the first page, first spot, as well as this. I also won the snippets here, as you can see. Another keyword for to show you is SEM for beginners, which I was able to rank, winning the snippets and ranking number 3, right, on the first page of Google. So in this video, I'll dive into all the techniques which I've used to write the content and to better optimize your content for SEO. And this method works the best if you're using WordPress, because I'll be using the plugin called Yoast SEO, right, which will help optimizing the content much easier. But if you're not using WordPress, that's well and good. You can follow along with me as well, right? But if you're using WordPress and Yoast is your plugin, then you can simply follow along with me as well, right? So for the sake of example, right, I'll be replicating what I did with my local SEO tips 2019 and show you how I wrote that article, right? So first of all, I wrote down the content overview, right, like what I wanted to write about. So we've got the title, right, then we have introduction, and we have a section called what is local SEO, why is local SEO important, right, all the tips. Like for that particular article, I wrote 20 tips, so I will have to write all the 20 tips and the conclusions, right? And I need to also define, what is my main keywords. So my main keyword is local SEO tips, and my other related keywords are local SEO strategy, local SEO tips and tricks, local SEO, and local SEO keywords. Now, before you highlight what are your main keywords or what are other related keywords, you need to make sure that you do the keyword research and keyword qualification before you jump right into this step, right? So before writing your actual content, you need to make sure that you have researched keywords and you have selected the right keyword for your content, which I have taught you in my previous videos, and I'll link them in the description below so you can watch them again. So make sure you watch that video first before you continue watching this video, right? So I would assume that you have already done keyword research and you have already qualified your keywords, right? So at this time you're ready to write your content, right? Okay, so my main keyword that I wanted to rank for is local SEO tips 2019, right? So that is the first thing that I wanted to have in my title, because you see, whatever gets displayed on Google, they're basically what we call as title tag, right? Like all these blue links. So that is the first thing that you need to define. And when you write the title tag, make sure that you have your exact main keyword present, at the most leftmost hand side, right? So for example, I wanted to rank for the keyword local SEO tips 2019. So I would write something like 20 local SEO tips 2019, right? And after you have your keyword present, right, next what you would want to write is what we call as a modifier, or what makes users want to click your results, right? Like try to make your title stand out, because people will simply scroll down and scan what they think looks important or look interesting to them, right? So you would want to add something which makes it much more appealing for the users to click on, right? So for example, 20 local SEO tips 2019, and I would write to say um, let's say tips to rank your local business higher, right? So something like that, like something which makes it appealing for users. But make sure that you don't stuff in too many keywords. Like for example, your main keyword is local SEO tips 2019. You don't want to repeat this again and again in your title tag, right? Otherwise it may look spammy, and instead of ranking you higher, Google can also penalize you for that as well, right? Okay, And next thing, once you have your title done, right, you need to start with your introduction, or a couple of your first paragraph, right? That's what we normally write for content, right? So to save the time, I have prepared a couple of content here, so I can simply copy and paste and explain to you what I do here. So starting off with the introduction, these are the snippets which I have copied, right? So I can just simply copy and paste it here. As you can see here, I started out with something which intriguing, right? Like telling the users that about the stats, right? Out of 5 consumers use local searches to find local information, which means that if your business isn't optimized for local SEO, you could be missing out on 80% of your potential customers, right? So we start off with the facts, so try to get users involved within the first paragraph itself, right? And it is also very recommendation that you should try to have your main keywords within the first 200 words of your content, right? So my main keyword is local SEO tips, right? So as you can see here, I have written here local SEO tips, right, and guide to improve your local SEO ranking. So I try to have my main keyword present within the first 200 words of the article, right? So when Google comes and scan your content, you would want to make sure that you try to tell Google that your content is about local SEO tips as fast as possible, right? Before they go on and scan your entire content. So make sure you do that as well, right? Okay, so next, you also want to make sure that you break the paragraphs, and you don't like write too many sentences in one paragraph. Keep it about maximum 3 to 4 lines, and then you can break the paragraphs. Like I normally like to keep it maximum of 3 lines, right? As you can see here, I keep it 2 lines and I break a paragraph. I keep it 2 lines and I break a paragraph. This makes it much easier for people to scan your content and to read, and it improves the readability as well, right? All right, so after that, I can start with all these text, right? As I'll show you here as well. All right, so let me break this down, right? Kind of fix this. All right, next you would want to make sure that you subdivide your content into multiple heading tags, right? Like we have h1 tag is basically your title tag. If you're using WordPress, right, it's your title. And then you have next is h2 tag, a smaller tag, and h3, h4, and so on, right? You would want to make sure that you break your content into multiple heading tags. I normally like to break up to 3 heading tags. So for example, this one is is one of the sections, so I would want to make it as h2 tag, right? And this also another h2 tag as well. And whenever you write your heading tag, right, make sure that you have a variations of your keywords present in your h2 tag as well, and also exact match of your keyword present as well, right? So for example, my main keyword is local SEO tips. I would want to have something related to this keyword present in my h2 tag, right? In some of my h2 tags, not all of them, but some of them. So as I've mentioned here, right, that my related keywords are local SEO, right, local SEO tips and tricks, local SEO keywords. So I would try to have some of these keywords present in my h2 tag as well, right? Okay, and also try to break your content into bullet points as well, so it makes much easier for people to understand, right? So because nowadays people don't like reading long stuff, paragraphs, right? That's why we don't write too many sentences in one paragraph, and also we break them into bullets and numberings, right, to make it much easier for people to understand content. So these are basically the like an introduction phase, right? Next is to start writing the actual tips, right? The tips itself. So I may start with, let's say 20 local SEO tips and strategies, right, in 2019. So this is other of my h2 tags, right? And I make sure that I have my I have my main keyword present. As I told you that you have to have your main keyword present at least in one of the H2 tag, but don't keep it too much, like just one H2 tag would be enough, right, to have your main keyword present there. And strategy is also one of my related keywords, and 2019 is what I want to rank for. So after that, I can start with my first tip, right? So let me just copy and paste. My first tip is to set up Google My Business, right? So you can simply copy and paste here. And since this is my first tips, right, so I'm just gonna make it as h2 tag as well, or maybe h3 tags would also make sense, right? So this is my first tips, and I would want to copy and paste everything here, right? And this also another subsection, so this may be a h4 tag, right? Because we have h2 tag here, h3 tags, and h4 is here, right? So just follow along logically. This also a list type, right? And this is how my first tip is done, right? You can also add image as well. For example, if I want to add image here, right? Now when you want to add your image, right, make sure that you have a meaningful file name, and you don't forget the alt tag as well, alt text, right? So let me just show you that. So for example, you want to upload your image. So just suppose this is my, right, as you can see here, local business SEO, right? This is my sample image. So I can just simply upload, right, and put the image there. With WordPress, you can simply edit the alt text using the section right here, right? Like simply click on the image and edit here, right? With your alt text, just make sure that it contains some of your keywords or variation of your keywords. For example, I'm talking about Google My Business, so I would want to name it as local SEO tips, right? Setting up Google My Business, right? Something like that. Like, don't stuff in too many keywords, but you don't have to really repeat this in each and every of your images. Just have a couple of them present, right? And but also make sure that you name your alt text of your image as well, right? And that's it. This is the first tips, and you can simply like repeat it with other tips. Like for example, this is my second tips, right? So I'll just go ahead and show you here. Okay, this is an h3 tags, right? So this is my second tips, and you can simply continue writing, right? Like you can see how simple it is, right? Just make sure that you have your keyword present as well as your related keyword present, right? Make sure you have done your keyword research properly, and try to write everything to look as simple as possible, right? And breaks the paragraphs and all those stuff. And after that, suppose you have done writing your content, you can scroll down and you can see how your results would appear on Google search, right? And next you would want to name your slug. Slug is basically like a URL, right? Like for example, the website.com / something like that. Now when you name your slug or URL, you would want to make sure that you have your keyword present in it, as well as it is short and concise, right? So for example, my main keyword is local SEO tips. I would want to have my slug as local SEO tips, as simple as that. See, my domain, right, .com, right, / local SEO tips, right? The slug is basically this one, right? As you can see here. Like, let me just open this. For example, this one, right? like try to keep them as simple as possible, as you can see here, right? Don't keep them too long, right? Just 3 words would be enough. And lastly, don't forget the meta description, right? Meta description is also what would appear like this, right? If you don't write meta description, there's nothing wrong with that, but Google will instead fetch some of your paragraphs and put it as meta description, something like this. And when you write meta description, make sure you write with keeping in mind your users first, write something compelling, that makes people want to click through to your results, right? So basically like a small summary of what your content is all about. For example, want to rank your local business higher on Google, check out these local, let's say, 20 local SEO tips. When you write your meta description, also you can, include your keyword as well, right? That also should, you know, make it much more relevant. Local SEO tips to, let's say, outrank your competitors, right? And simply that's it. You can, follow along like this. And with Yoast SEO, right, you get many recommendations. As you can see here, you get all these you know dots, right? What I normally see beginners try to do is they try to make each and every dot turn greens, right? But actually that should not be your main priority. You first try to write for users and make sure that you have your keyword present as well as the related keyword present, as many as possible, right? And the remaining is simply just try and see and follow along what you're missing. For example, it says internal links is missing, right? So yeah, don't forget that if you have other related article on your content, make sure you have internal links as well, right? So just go ahead and internal links to your other related articles. And what it says, what else it says outbound links, like linking out to other websites. So for example, I want to link out to Google My Business website, so I can write https://google.com, right, /business, and let it open it in a new tab. That's it. Like these are the SEO best practices that they recommend us, but we actually don't have to follow each and everything, right? Just make sure that you go through each one of them and make it like your checklist, right? Like whatever you tend to forget, you can try and add it on your content. But simply that's it. Like all whatever I told you, just simply follow along and you'll be able to rank very well. Make sure that your content contains your main keywords enough times, as well as the relevant keywords. And also it doesn't matter the number of time your keyword is present. You can have a look at your Yoast and see, suppose your Yoast may tell that your keywords are present too less or maybe too many, right? Then you can try to tune that down, up and down. But in order to rank well, besides writing following along this, you also need to have done your keyword research properly, right? Because you need to make sure that you have all the important related keyword present on your content, right? And that's why after you have completed writing, there's one free tool which I like to talk about in many of my videos, and that is called as cognitive SEO, right? It's actually a paid SEO tools, but there's a free version which you can try, right? And it allows you to try up to 5 times or 5 reports per day, right? So just go ahead and go to cognitiveseo.com /keyword dash tool, and just simply enter the keyword or the topic you're writing about. So for example, local SEO tips, right? And just analyze. This is a great tool to basically analyze your content and see if your content is well optimized or not, right? Okay, so suppose you have written your content, right, and you're not sure whether your content can rank or not. You can simply copy each and everything about your content, right? Let's say I copy each and everything. I copy it and I go to the section where it says content assistant and click start optimizing your content, and paste in your content, right? And also your title, don't forget that as well, right? Copy and paste that and click check score, right? What this tool will do is it will analyze and see whether you have included all the important keywords or not, right? And that your content rank. As you can see here, it has a score of 59 and it says this content can rank in the top 10 Google results. And it your target should be 92, right? So basically you need to continue writing and make sure that your content contains all these, important keywords that is suggesting, right? And in my experience, I've used this tool a lot, and whenever I try to optimize to, let's say, about 90 plus, I always rank in the top 5 or top 10 results, right? So make sure that you make use of this tool as well after you have finishing writing your content, right? And that's all for this video. I hope you find this video valuable. If you have any question, you can simply comment down in the comment section. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video.